Child of God, I suggest starting every single day with this declaration: God, I am absolutely nothing without you. I can do nothing without you. I lean entirely on you today. I am desperate without your help. You see, no matter how many victories we've had in the past, yesterday's strength cannot win today's battles. Yesterday's victories don't guarantee today's breakthrough. If I leaned on God yesterday, that doesn't automatically carry me through today. I must lean on Him today. I must seek Him afresh every morning. We all have weaknesses. We all have limitations. But here's the beautiful truth. God has no limitations. Our weakness doesn't disqualify us. It becomes the very place where His power shows up strongest. It becomes the very place where His power shows up strongest. As Paul declared in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So instead of letting our weaknesses drag us into shame or worry, we turn them into altars of surrender. We say, "Lord, I am weak in this area. I need your strength. I believe you are changing me day by day. I will not waste today worrying about what I did wrong yesterday. I trust you to strengthen me in my weakness." The truth is, our weaknesses don't have to define us. They don't have to hold us back, because when we yield them to God, He fills them with His power. The enemy wants you to obsess over what you cannot do, but heaven calls you to rejoice in what God can do. Miracles never flow out of can'ts. They are born out of cans, and what is impossible with man is always possible with God. If we dare to believe Him, if we dare to stand on His promises, we will see His hand move in ways that leave us in awe. Beloved, we must begin to believe boldly again. We must start expecting the miracle-working power of God to show up in our lives, and in the lives of those around us, because miracles don't just happen where there is need. They happen where there is faith. Every new day, we must go to God with the right attitude, not demanding, not ordering Him around, not saying, "God, do this, fix that, move here," but rather humbly asking, "Lord, what is it you want me to do today? What is my assignment? What path will glorify you most in my life?" God doesn't want us relying on rituals, or formulas, or checklists, as if He were some machine we could operate. If blessing were only about ticking the right boxes, we wouldn't need God at all. But He wants relationship, not ritual. He wants dependence, not formulas. Look at David in 2 Samuel 5. He had just been anointed king over Israel, and the Philistines rose up against him as soon as they heard the news. Now, David could have relied on his past victories. After all, he had already killed Goliath. He had fought battles before, but instead of assuming he knew what to do, David went straight to God and asked, "Shall I go up against the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hand?" And the Lord answered him with clear direction. That is the secret. David didn't lean on yesterday's strength, yesterday's wisdom, or yesterday's methods. He leaned on God today. That is what God is calling us to as well. To wake up each morning and say, "Lord, I cannot do this on my own. I need you today. Show me how to fight this battle. Show me how to overcome this obstacle. Show me how to accomplish what you have called me to do." And when we approach Him that way, humbly, surrendered, fully dependent, His power flows freely through us. His Spirit strengthens our weakness. His wisdom guides our path. His wisdom guides our path. And His presence guarantees our victory. So let this truth sink deep into your spirit today. You may have weaknesses, but your God has none. You may have limits, but your God is limitless. You may not see the way, but your God already holds tomorrow in His hands. Therefore, don't magnify your weakness. Magnify His strength. Don't rehearse what you cannot do. Declare boldly what He can do. Don't live bound by yesterday. Step into today with fresh faith and expectancy. Because when you lean on God today, miracles become possible. When you lean on God today, victory becomes certain. When you lean on God today, His power perfects your weakness and turns it into testimony. So rise up this day and declare, God, I lean on you and only you. My weakness is yours to fill. My battles are yours to fight. My future is yours to secure. And I will live today, not in my strength, but in the strength of the Lord. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. David had just stepped into a new season of his life, anointed as king over Israel. The Philistines, Israel's fierce enemies, heard the news and came rushing down into the valley to attack him. Now David was no stranger to war. He had conquered armies before, faced giants before, and his natural instinct as a warrior was to rise up and charge into battle. But here is what made David a man after God's own heart. He did not rely on his own strength, his past victories, or his natural skills. Instead, David paused. He humbled himself before the Lord and prayed, "Shall I go up against the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hands?" Notice this. David didn't assume God's blessing simply because he had won in the past. He didn't say, "I've got this, no problem, I've handled worse." Instead, he sought God's direction for today. David understood something so vital: yesterday's victories don't guarantee today's success. Yesterday's faith doesn't replace today's dependence. So before raising his sword, he bowed his heart. He recognized that his strength, his favor, and his ability all came from God. And God answered him. The Lord said, "Go, for I will surely deliver the Philistines into your hands." With that assurance, David went forward, not in his own confidence, but in God's promise. And the Philistines were completely defeated. This story carries such a powerful truth for us. Too often we rush into battles assuming God will back us up just because he did before. We think, well, I've been through this, I know how to handle it. But wisdom says, stop and ask, inquire of the Lord, because not every battle is ours to fight. Some battles God calls us to face head-on. Others he fights on our behalf. And still others, he tells us to simply be still and trust him. Maybe you faced obstacles that didn't turn out the way you expected. Could it be that you faced obstacles that didn't turn out the way you expected? Leaned on yesterday's direction instead of today's guidance. Like David, we need to seek God afresh every single day. Lord, what is your plan? How should I respond? Will you go with me into this? David's story reminds us, victories are not found in our strength, but in our surrender. And when we pause long enough to seek his voice, we find his presence going before us, his power working through us, and his victory written over us. You ought to get up every single morning with one burning desire in your heart. God, I want to know you more. I want to love you deeper. That is the most important decision you can ever make to start your day. I've done this for decades. Every single morning of my life, before my feet even touch the ground, I sit on the edge of my bed and I whisper a simple prayer. Dear God, it's another day, and if I don't get anything else done today, I just want to know you a little bit better. And I want to love you a little bit more, because friend, if at the end of the day everything went wrong, the day was chaotic, the plans collapsed, mistakes were made, sins were committed, grief showed up uninvited, but you can still say, I know God a little better. But you can still say, I know God a little better. I love him a little more. That day was not wasted. That day was a victory. On the other hand, you could accomplish 1,000 things. You could climb higher in your career. You could gain more followers, more money, more fame. You could check off every single task on your list. But if at the end of the day, you don't know God more and love him more, you have wasted that day. Because listen to me, God did not create you and put you on this earth just so you could mark things off a to-do list. He created you for relationship, for love, for intimacy with him. That's why, before I even get out of bed, I take a moment to anchor my soul in his word. One of my favorite verses to pray in the morning is Psalm 143:8. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life. I love that verse. It doesn't say, "Let the morning remind me of my love for you, because I fail, I stumble, I fall short, that's part of being human." But it says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love." That means every sunrise is a reminder, not of my weakness, but of his strength, not of my failure, but of his faithfulness. And when I pray, show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life. I'm not just asking God for directions like a map. I'm acknowledging something far greater. I'm saying, "Lord, my steps are ordered by you, my future is in your hands, my path belongs to you." So today I gladly choose to walk close to you, wherever you lead, and then, with a smile, I simply whisper, "Good morning, Lord. I don't know where you're going today, but wherever you're going, I'm coming with you." That's it. That's the secret. That's how you start your day with victory. Friend, your morning sets the tone for your life. If you start it with stress, you'll carry stress. If you start it with fear, you'll carry fear. But if you start it with trust, if you start it by remembering his unfailing love, then peace, joy, and strength will flow through you all day long. So stop measuring your days by how much you get done. Stop defining your worth by how many tasks you finish, or how many people notice your effort. Instead, measure your life by this one thing. Did I know God more today? Did I love him more today? Because at the end of your life, that's the only thing that will matter. Not the titles, not the trophies, not the accomplishments, not the applause. What will matter is the depth of your walk with him. So tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the floor, take a breath, whisper a prayer, and let Psalm 143:8 be your declaration. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life. And when you do, you'll discover that every single day, even the hard days, even the messy days, even the disappointing days, becomes a day of victory, because as long as you end it knowing God more and loving him deeper, you haven't wasted it at all.